What's up, everybody out there? What's going on? What's going on? What time is it? Give it a few seconds as usual, a few minutes as usual. See if anybody jump on. You know the holiday weekends. You know everybody doing their thing out there, but see if anybody jump on. Really briefly, where's my garbage at? So for today, I wanted to get into some basic talks about CMOS. All right, that's what the topic of today is. The topic of today is CMOS, CMOS, CMOS. We got to talk about the CMOS. You know, I just want to clear up a lot of things with CMOS in general. A lot of misinformation that's out there. Proper ways how to go about dealing with your CMOS and things like that. Because, you know, so many different videos and things that's out there, and people are still confused. So, you know, I did various videos concerning CMOS, so you could scroll on this page and look further and look at those other videos in which I've done in the past. They've been rather recent, like within the past like couple of months. I did like several videos on CMOS, you know, just explaining it, breaking it down and things like that, things to look out for, showing a couple of different varieties of CMOS, you know what I'm saying? And I still have yet to do a video showing the pool grown CMOS, but everybody pretty much should know what the pool grown CMOS looks like already. So, you know, within this video, like I said, I'm just going to wait, give it a couple more minutes, see who else jump on, and you know, and we'll just get to talking about this CMOS in its entirety. All right, just give a nice brief explanation, and also too for the people everybody that's in the group, the Alkaline Journey Health and Healing. I'll do the announcements for days for whoever going to do the fast for 21 days and 30 days in October. I'll do the announcements for that tomorrow. I'm just trying to finish up tonight and tomorrow morning, catching up on the rest of these orders, you know. So hopefully I should be able to do that by tomorrow. So everybody appreciate y'all patience and things like that. The order's been taking a little bit longer than expected, but finally pretty much caught up. So just got to finish up tonight and for the morning, then I'll be caught up with everything. So, and please, you know, once again, everybody, you know, that orders from the site, always appreciate the support and everything like that. Please read the policy. You know, I wrote the policy on this page, and the policy is on the website page as well. You know, so that way you know or should have an estimate in mind of how long it may take for you to get your order. You know, instead of me constantly getting emails or seeing people put up posts and things like that. You know, so it's there. And you, like I said, you can scroll on this page too. Hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody. How y'all weekend? How y'all weekend? I was going through it a little bit this weekend. Me playing around with them formulas again. Got my face a little bit swelled up again. Playing around with the lymphatics, using a little bit too much, testing them out and stuff like that. So, you know, as usual, this ain't nothing new. You know, it'll go back down in a couple even a few days to a week or two. It'll go back down. You know, because of the lymph node under my neck or whatever. So, there ain't nothing. We got like 8-9 people up in here, something like that. Yeah, so just a brief speech on CMOS. As I said before, I spoke on the different varieties, and I showed the different varieties of CMOS. You know, in one video, I showed 4 different varieties of CMOS. I showed the one that I call baby moss. It's not really called baby moss, but I showed that one. It's very, very thin, a little bit harder to clean than the other ones. Then you have a pure gold CMOS. Then you'll have different kinds of purple looking CMOS, because initially it's usually purple. The stringy ones, you know, the stringy ones are usually purple, and sometimes when you go to blend them and things like that, and soaking them, they may lose the purple color because it's naturally supposed to be goldish. But then you have some that are pure purple. So you have to just know that difference. Some purples will turn gold, and some purples will just be a pure purple CMOS. So that's something that you should know, most definitely when it comes to CMOS. And as far as the term bleaching as well, a lot of this stuff I already mentioned, but I'm just reiterating. The term bleaching, that's been given a very bad name because, certain sea mosses that are purple, when you leave them out to be sun dried, they naturally bleach under the sun and they turn gold. So that's one form of bleaching. But then you have the chemical bleaching, in which a lot of the big companies use to turn them to another color. So, it's two different types of bleaching. One that's done by nature and another that's done by man. So obviously, you would want to know if your CMOS has been bleached, naturally, or done by man's inventions. So that's something that you should definitely know. CMOS, when you initially buy it, the strand should never be thick. As always, the strand should never be thick. You might have a few, ones that are thicker than others, but in general, you can tell because it'll have a whole lot of salt on it, and the strands will be very, very thick when they supposed to only really thicken after you soak them in water. And some of them, when you soak them in water, they're still relatively thin, but just some types get thicker than others. Okay, and just because a brand of CMOS that you may have has salt on it, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it. Because in the video which Dr. Sebi spoke, he spoke on one species of CMOS that doesn't carry salt on it. And that was specifically the Crispus. But if you have like the Jamaican CMOS and things like that, that's mainly where most people get things from. Jamaican CMOS, you have Jamaican CMOS, you have CMOS from Africa, you have CMOS from down there, South and Central America, stuff like that. So, other types of CMOS may still have some salt on it, so that's nothing to be alarmed about. It's just the thickness and the amount of salt, that you'll initially notice with the pool grown ones, and pool grown, as we know, they're taking, some people say that pool grown is fake. This and the third. Technically, pool grown isn't fake. Okay, technically, pool grown isn't fake. They would just take a piece of the sea moss that's grown from the sea, but they would leave a nice portion of it so it could still harvest and grow. And then they would take that and they would put it in a separate batch of waters, with a whole bunch of salt in there. They may put fans in there or a little pond, what they call a tide pool ponds, and just let the waters go back and forth, and move the salt around so that it could still try to mimic some of the properties of the sea moss. Okay, so pool grown is not technically fake, but it's being manipulated by man, so you still don't want that. And that's not what Dr. Sebi advocated for, because I see some people saying that, oh well, there's nothing wrong with pool grown, this and the third, I use it, I feel good. Hey, we in this alkaline lifestyle, we doing things according to what Dr. Sebi told us. If you choose to do a certain something, that's on you, but don't spread that information to somebody else and cause them to err from the proper way to go. We're not trying to go the cheapest route out. We're trying to go the most beneficial route for our bodies. That's what this thing is all about. Because you can find in like Asian markets and stuff, you could probably find pool grown sea moss for just a couple of dollars for a couple of ounces or something like that. But you want that quality. That's what we in this lifestyle for. We want quality. That's what it's all about. All right, it's about the quality. Glory, love, truth. All right, thanks. Peace, peace, peace. Also, too, just in general, you got to know that when it comes to CMOS, there's many, many, many varieties of CMOS. Generally, it's labeled as red algae, but within that red algae family, you have different varieties of CMOS. Have Gracilara, Chondrus crispus, another CMOS they call Mastocarpus that man will wind up taking and mixing it with the Chondrus crispus and acting like it's the same species, but it's not. So you have many different types or species of CMOS that's out there, so that's something that you have to be thoroughly aware of too. But as I said, most of the CMOS that majority of everybody gets is usually Jamaican CMOS. What Dr. Sebi specifically advocated for was Chondrus crispus. Now, I deal with both. Pretty much everybody deals with both, but a lot of people don't know the difference between the two. You still get, the properties are very, very similar. So you still getting, heavy benefits from, any other type of CMOS, but it's just that Chondrus crispus. That's the specific one that Dr. Sebi advocated for. Like you can see the one that I'll be selling different ones on the site. Usually I have, matter of fact, let me grab one of the cons real quick. Cause actually I'm picking some CMOS right now. Cause this one be having strings in it, so I'll be having to clean it and stuff like that. Like usually I have the baby CMOS. I ran out of the baby CMOS, right? But then I will have this CMOS right here. This is Jamaican CMOS. The baby CMOS that I have, that's usually from Jamaica too, right? And then you have this CMOS. You can see, right? If you can see, what it's purple and it's gold. It's purple and it's gold, right? Because it's partially sun dried. All right, partially sun dried. So I mentioned this in one of the other videos. It's partially sun dried, so you can see it's purple and it's gold. But its initial color, when it's removed from the sea, it's purple. But under the sun, it turns gold. So that's one of the favorite ones that I actually have and I actually like. Then I have this one here. This one is it's different colors. This one is different colors. I'll show you. 1 second, but they have a lot of strings and stuff in it. That's why I'm sitting here having to pick it right now, right? You can see it's like a reddish color, right? It's like a reddish color. Then have some strands, you know what I'm saying, that's goldish. Then, have some strands that's more purple like, So it's different. It's different types of CMOS out there. It's different types. So that's this. I just wanted to show everybody so that you get a better understanding of things in general. But the one that Dr. Sebi specifically advocated for, I have that as well right here with me. This Chondrus crispus. I don't have this one up on the site just yet. So usually when I sell CMOS, I will sell any one of the other varieties that I have. The purple and gold one that I showed you, then that red one, or the baby moss, or just pure gold. But now I'm going to start having the actual Chondrus crispus. I could have got it, but it just wasn't for the correct price and things like that I was trying to get it for. So and the supply wasn't steady. So I wanted to make sure that if I was going to get it, that I was going to be a steady supply, right? So. And as you can see, this CMOS here, right? If you can see it, it's more fan-like. It's more fan-like. All right, let me just show this is another separate piece. All right, it's more fan-like. Mary Jackson, do you have any CMOS gel for sale? Yeah, it's up on the website. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the link up there for you now. 1 second, let me find this in my Alright, there we go. Alright, there you go. There go the link right there, Mary Jackson. Yeah, so like I said, so this is specifically Chondrus crispus that Dr. Sebi was talking about, because this is more fan-like. It's like little buzz, but it's more fan-like. Lori said, yes, that's the one I always buy. I love Chondrus crispus. Yeah, exactly. This is the right one. So, and with this Chondrus crispus, some like these, you can't really see it. I don't know, maybe y'all can see it, but when you have the light on it, one of these days I'll put a picture up of it, but when you put the light on it, you can see how the fan types, they're red and some of them are yellow. So you have a form of Chondrus crispus where you have some red mixed with yellow tops. Then you'll have the Chondrus crispus where it's purely purple. Then you'll have another form of Chondrus crispus where all of the hairs are like a dark red, So there's many, as I said, there's many varieties when it comes to the CMOS, but specifically, Dr. Sebi mentioned this Chondrus crispus here, and it definitely smells like the sea and, things like that. And you can see how like the ends of them, they look black and things like that. Because when I initially open the bag, you'll just be looking like, what's all that black stuff? But then when you actually put the light on the fan tops, then you'll see like the red and yellow colors of it and things like that as well. So, like I said, I don't have this up on the site just yet because I'm trying to. So I got so much other CMOS I'm trying to knock down before I actually put this up. But I'll probably put this up sometime this week or the following week, right? But I definitely wanted to show that. And Dr. Sebi, he advocated for more of the red one, like that one and things like that. Another thing too, I keep hearing a lot of people mentioning that when they soak in the CMOS, they wondering should they still use that same water that they soaked it in and put in the blender because they say you're losing nutrients and things like that. Generally speaking, if you know what you're doing, you're not going to lose nutrients because what's happening is some people are soaking it for too long so it gets mushy. You don't want to soak your CMOS. All right, look, boom. You first initially soak your CMOS, right? Most people soak it overnight. That's fine. When you check it and you flipping it around in the water, if it's completely like getting mushy, then that means you soaked it too long. That means the variety of CMOS that you have doesn't need to be soaked that long. So you soak it for a shorter period of time and then you rinse it off, repeat, rinse it off, repeat at least 2 to 3 different times, to get off all of that excess salt and dirt and other things on it. You don't want to use this. When you initially soak the CMOS, you don't want to use that same water and put that in a blender and blend that up because now you're still getting all of the dirt and all of the salt and things like that. It's going to possibly raise up your blood pressure and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people is out there doing that. That's what you don't want to do. That's exactly what you don't want to do. All right. Laverne Wonder, you said, hello. How do CMOS be in the fridge before I can use it? Well, if you got the gel, it's good for anywhere from like 3 to 6 weeks. It should be, the gel, but you still have to check it. You still have to check it. That's another thing that I wanted to mention too, because it can vary. Sometimes I have CMOS sitting out, outside of the refrigerator for mad days. You know what I'm saying? One time I did it for like 2 weeks and it was still perfectly fine. Then other times I might have CMOS out for 3 days, the gel, and then it'd be looking bad. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I want people to know is if you happen to, say for instance, you have CMOS sitting for maybe like a week or 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. And if you start to see any mold on it, don't throw the whole CMOS away. That's wasting money. If you just see little spots of mold on the top, just scrape the top off. That's all you got to do. Don't throw away your whole CMOS. Why throw away your whole jar of CMOS when the whole jar is not affected with mold? It'll only start to mold maybe a little bit on the top layer of it, but just scoop that piece off, or whatever little piece off, scoop that off and use the rest of it. It's perfectly fine. I do that all the time. So don't waste your money. Even if you had it sitting in there 3-4 weeks, you look at it like, oh, this got 2 spots on it. I'll throw it in the trash. No, scoop those little 2 spots off and then continue to use your CMOS. Don't waste your money like that, all right? Because so many people just, oh, I see a spot, I see a mold, I'm gonna throw this away. No, don't do that. That's a waste of money right there. All right, so yeah, I definitely wanted to speak on those things. And going back to as far as the CMOS you're losing nutrients, you have to know the different types of CMOS that you're dealing with. Jody Shuff, thank you for info. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. So you got to know the type of CMOS that you're dealing with. Vanessa, grateful for your knowledge. Much appreciated. Thanks. I'm glad to share. So once again, like I said, you got to know the type of CMOS that you're dealing with. Like specifically this one and the other reddish one that I just showed you, the Jamaican CMOS. I can soak those overnight perfectly fine, and they don't start to get mushy. Now, if I wind up soaking them because sometimes you get busy and things like that. So sometimes if I just leave it and it's out for maybe like 18 hours or 2 days or something like that, then it'll start to get mushy. Then I'm like, damn, well, let me take the contents out. Let me just drain out. Try to rinse it off a little bit more. Get get more of the salt and things off that, and transfer it to another bowl. Do another quick rinse. You know what I'm saying? And then throw it in the and do what I do with it. So you definitely got to know that. So and specifically, usually with the Chondrus crispus, that usually doesn't require a whole lot of soaking time, just as general CMOS will. So I will soak the Chondrus crispus a little less of time. So you have to test it out on your own. If you have Chondrus crispus, and see how long it actually takes to soak. Because like I said, you don't want it to soak to the point where it's just making all of the water mushy. You just want it to soak to where it can swell up a little bit, and then you transfer it to another bowl or a colander, and you just rinse it off with your spring water a few times and things like that. And then you put it in your blender with a fresh batch of water. Put it in your blender with a fresh batch of water and blend it on up like that. Like I said, 'cause you don't want to get all of that excess salt and potentially getting high blood pressure and all that extra dirt in there, stuff like that. So that's what you definitely want to do with that. And if you do it that way, and if you don't let it get soggy in the water, you won't lose nutrients. But if you let it just sit there and get all soggy and mushy in that water, and now you changing that water, then you're going to potentially lose nutrients from it because all of it is sitting in all of that water right there. So you got to know, how to deal properly with the CMOS specifically that you have. All right. Another thing, people think that Irish moss refers to every species of CMOS. It doesn't. There is only one true Irish moss, and that is Chondrus crispus, the one that Dr. Sebi mentioned, the one that I just showed you, the one with the little fans. That is the only Irish moss. Any other moss out there is just, all of them are sea moss in general, but there's only one Irish moss because the Chondrus crispus, it only grows in cold waters. It only grows in cold waters up in the Atlantic Ocean around Maine and up around Ireland. Those are the only places that you'll really see the Chondrus crispus is in cold waters. All right. So any other moss, like if you're getting sea moss from Jamaica, that's Jamaican sea moss, but it's not Irish moss. It's not Chondrus crispus. Irish moss is Chondrus crispus. Okay, so you got to know the difference. Any other type of moss is just sea moss, whether it comes from Jamaica or whether it comes from Africa or Central and South America. It's just sea moss, and it's a difference between the two. Generally, I would normally tell everybody, yeah, it's about the same. It's about the same because they all have very similar properties. They all have similar properties. They all pretty much do the same thing. They all give energy to the body, make you feel great, build up your bones, heavy in minerals and things like that. They all generally do the same thing, but it's just what Dr. Sebi advocated more. So we have to know the difference with what we're talking about. And I'm seeing so many people just spit out the wrong information. So, I thought I'd just do this just to set the record straight with everything. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I wanted to speak on real briefly? No, I believe that's it. If anybody got any questions, based upon the topic real quick, then I'll answer them before I jump off. But like I said, once again, for the group, if you're a part of the group or if you want to be a part of the group, it's the Alkaline Journey Health and Healing. That's the name of the group. Be sure to fill in all the questions. If you want to join the group to be accepted into the group, we got the fast coming up in October. And things like that, starting October 1st. I spoke on the protocol for people that's going to be doing 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, and 14 days. So tomorrow, I was supposed to do it today, but tomorrow I'm going to do, Lord willing, I'm going to do the protocol for 21 days and for 30 days. And then the following day after that, which will be Tuesday, I'll speak on how to properly end the fast. Okay, and things like that. Is there anything else? Yeah, I'm pretty much caught up with everyone's orders. Things been kind of I've been kind of behind a little bit. So by tomorrow I'll definitely be caught up with everybody's orders that ordered the following week and all of this week that we're currently in as we're entering a new week. Got about like 70, 80 something orders, so I should be able to get out all those orders tomorrow. Hopefully, if I continue to work out through the night, I could get the rest of those orders done and just be ready for any orders that come fresh. That way, it could get your orders out much faster. I got some more help now and things like that with some of the orders, temporarily. So orders should definitely be getting out a lot faster and things like that. And once again, just always check. If you haven't ordered from the site before, please make sure that you read the policy on the front page of the website. That way, how long it's going to take, and that way, you're just not thinking, okay, well, it's taking forever. Well, if you go over the policy, then you can see how long it may take for you to get your order. But as I said, got some temporary help now, so things should be speeding up a lot faster. You should be getting your orders and things like that a lot quicker. Starting off with this week, so that's pretty much anything else. I think it was one more thing I wanted to speak on, but Yeah, too. It was a couple of people that I was mentioning I was going to give some samples out too. I know one of them was the brother George. I forgot who else that I may have mentioned of some of the new products and things that I'm gonna be coming out with. I put up the rest of the new herbs except for the Cell Energy formula that I didn't put up yet, and the Colon Cleanse tool. The Colon Cleanse tool, hopefully I'll definitely put that up tomorrow. I was supposed to put it up the other day, but I should definitely be able to put it up either by tonight or tomorrow. Then I also try to work on the lung formula too, and I'm just working on a whole new detox package besides the starter pack as well. So everything is just timing, and just pacing myself with things and trying to put things together the right way. As I said, I always use things myself first and foremost, so I'm my own guinea pig. As to see how things working, because I know how my body reacts to certain things, and constantly like that. So everybody just continue to grow. Continue to learn, study, research. Just don't become dependent on anyone else. I don't never want nobody just to be dependent on me. Do some studies, do your own research as well. If you're not sure about something, then you can reach out. If I'm doing a live stream, you can reach out, ask some questions and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And I can set the record straight as far as certain things if I have the answer to them. If I don't know something, I won't sit there and try to wing it like I don't know it. I know I don't know everything. I'm continually growing. Just like everyone else is. I just been doing it a little while longer maybe than most people have. That's all. So and I've just been through various experiences with this detox, and then potentially hurting myself and all type of things. So but yeah, just continue to grow and things like that. If there's any questions, I'll stick on a few more minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to finish up the CMOS and stuff like that, and the rest of these orders and stuff for the night is over. So if anybody got any questions, real quick, just shoot them out, and we could just get to it. Valen Bear, hello. India Walker, hello. Brown Sugar, hello. Craig, what's going on? All right, Miko, what's going on? Yeah, thanks everybody for joining in too. Always appreciate everybody joining in and checking out the streams and things like that. Definitely gonna be doing a lot more things as far as the group too. Like I said, just everything is just timing, pacing myself, and just trying to do things the correct way. Could do so much and just put stuff out there, but it'll be real sloppy. So I wanna take my time with everything. I wanna take my time with everything and try to seek perfection, because it's always going to be room for improvement no matter what you do. And especially me, I try to be a perfectionist, even though I'm very far from it. But continue to try to look and try to make things better. As the days, the minutes, and the hours go on. And Valiant said, I just got on, so I'm sure I missed a lot of info. Yeah, you pretty much, because I was getting ready to just about to generally end it, but I was just asking if anybody had any questions and things like that. Then I'll stick on for a little bit longer. But I just was really doing a brief topic on CMOS and explaining that there are different varieties, things to look out for, what Dr. Sebi actually advocated for, things like that, just so that people could be more informed with the purchases and stuff like that. Even if you're not getting something from me, you can actually, and if you're getting something from someone else, you can know what to look for. That's the main thing. You want to know what to look for, because it's a lot of people that have things that's pool grown and things like that. I won't speak on nobody else's company or anything like that. So I just try to mind my own business. But I see a lot of things from what other people show me. But I just stay in my own lane. I stay in my own lane, mind my own business. I'm not worried about nobody else and nobody else's products and things like that. I'm worried about what I got going on. Yeah, too. Some people be asking me, what do I think about this? What do I think about that? I don't mind answering certain questions and helping out people, but I'd rather not really speak on other people's products or things that they got going on, because I don't know too much about them or things like that. So I'm very secluded. So all right, hey Joanne, how you doing? Is it anything else? Anything else? I think that's about it. No questions. Going once, going twice. Going 3 times, going 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Said Valan Bear, do you offer colon cleanses? I know we need to start cleansing the colon for proper toxic cleaning. Yeah, I got colon cleanse up there. 60 capsule, 90 capsule, 150 capsules, and I'm also about to put up colon cleanse too, which is gonna be good for anybody that's that has severe bowel inflammation issues and things like that. Would you say, Joanne? You said sold. What happened? You said then other drainage passages like lymph and such. Yeah. The blood cleanse formula, the tea mix, that's blood cleanser herbs and lymphatic herbs mixed together. So both of those are up there. And as far as that, I got the 5 ounce and I got the 8 ounce that's up there. I definitely gotta have a lot more formulas and things in mind too. You know, but like I said, just constantly testing, researching, going over things, and you know, testing certain things out for myself. But yeah, the Valan Bear, I don't know if you had seen when I put the link up there, but the link is the alkalinejourneyshop.com. That's the name of the website. You said, can I DM you for questions about purchasing? Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, just shoot me a message right now. That way, you know, when I get off, I just shoot one right back at you, give you the link and everything like that, or answer whatever questions you got real quick. I get a lot of messages and stuff, so I usually can't get to everybody as timely as I would like to. But since you're on stream right now, I'll definitely get back to you as soon as I get off here. You say you need to know exactly what I need, where to start. Are you Valen? I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but is it Valen? But or Valen? Yeah. Are you in the group, the Alkaline Journey Health and Healing group? So Laverne wonder, what does CMOS look like when finished? This is my first time preparing CMOS. It'll come out looking like a gel. It'll come out looking like a straight gel. Some, depending on how you do it, it may come out looking like applesauce when you put it in the jar, real mushy. Then sometimes it could just come out just like thick, like one solid block looking like inside of the jar. You know, but it should definitely be you know, like a brownish kind of type of color. It should be like that, like a brownish type of color. Or like I said, you could look on the website too, Laverne, and you can see how it looks inside of the jar, because there's images up there, so you can see how it looks inside of the jar and things like that. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. So I'm getting a little tired myself. Need to have me some watermelon juice, some herbs or something. Give me a little bit of energy. No questions. All right, so with that, you know, I'm gonna get back to finish picking out this CMOS, because it is really like a pain in my ass having to pick this one out. That's why I like the other ones, because I don't have to pick them out really like that. But just all these strings and stuff that be in it. So I know you probably can't see that, but yeah, you can see it. Having to pick out little strings and things like that, you know, so it'd be a little aggravating. But yeah, with that, you know, I hope everybody have a good night. Once again, you know, if you're not a part of the group, join the group. You know, the Alkaline Journey Health and Healing. You know, must answer all of the questions to be accepted into the group. Things like that. You get ready to do the fast up in October, and I'm gonna mention the rest of the protocols inside of the group. So inside of the group, you know, we're gonna be doing certain exclusive things that, and talking about certain things that we're not going to be talking about on here, or doing certain things, you know, just on this main business page. You know, that's that's my extra gift, if you will, to people as far as them being in the group, you know, getting certain exclusive content and things like that. And you know, it's just taking baby steps and continuously growing together, you know, things like that. Said it's best to use less fruits when fasting. Yeah, yeah, it's best to use less fruits when fasting. The least, the better. No more than like 1 to 3 at most, but it's best to really try to keep it to 1 or 2 fruits. You know, like if you're making a fruit juice or a smoothie or something like that, no more than like 1 to 3 fruits. The least, the better, though. As in Lord, she said, I got a CMOS powder and it looked like a spider web when I use it. Is it fake? You said it looked like a spider web. I gotta see exactly what it looked like. And things like that. Like, and with the powder, it's hard too to tell as far as with the powder. You know, it's really hard because it's grounded down. You don't know what source it originally came from, which state it was originally in. You know, before they put it into a powder. So with the powders, it's really, really hard to tell. You know, it's really, really hard to tell. Fishbone, you said, how do you store the CMOS after you open the jar? I got instructions on the website to show you how to do it properly. But basically, all you got to do is once you jar it up, you know, you just you need to let it breathe. So don't put the top back on it. You can have the top on it for a number of days if you want, but for best shelf life, you know, take the top off, put a piece of saran wrap on it, and just poke some holes in it so it can breathe, and just put it in the refrigerator just like that. That helps to extend the shelf life of it because it needs to breathe. You know, so that's the best way to store it, and it's usually good for anywhere for like 3 to 6 weeks. But sometimes mine still be good. So like I be hearing a lot of people saying, you know, mine start getting bad after 3 weeks. For some reason, I really don't be having that problem. That may have happened like once or twice to me, and that was mainly because I just probably left it out and not being refrigerated. But that usually doesn't happen to me, you know. And one time, this is how you know it's strange. Like I just mentioned, like one time I left it out. I left out some CMOS for like 3-4 days. It got bad. Another time, I shipped something to New Zealand, and something happened. I don't know what the issue was, but every time it was going through UPS, it kept coming back, and I'm like, "What is going on?" So, you know, we eventually got it, figured out. But a month later, it was still good. It was still good a month later. It was still good a month later, without being refrigerated. Ain't no additives, no preservatives, no none of that stuff in it. So it's different. You know, it could be different. Sometimes the shelf life on it could be shorter. Sometimes it could be longer. You know. And matter of fact, somebody just today, they just showed me in a jar. They had bought some CMOS gel for their goddaughter. They ordered it on August 3rd, and now it's September the 1st. And they had the jar in the refrigerator. It wasn't covered. It was covered. They showed me the jar, and it's still perfectly fine. Still perfectly fine. So, but then sometimes it can be, you know, just a couple of weeks with it being covered. So, you know, give or take. But generally, it's best, you know, to leave it uncovered, you know, with the saran wrap on it like that. S and Lois, you said, I need consulting. Yeah, I got that on the website too. You could just go on the website and you know, do that, and then make an appointment with me on the business page. So you just go to the website, alkalinejourneyshop.com, and set it up from there, and then go back to to this business page, and you could pick the perfect timing in a day and stuff like that. Yeah, got you. Thanks. Yeah, no problem, brother. No problem at all. Yeah, because you know it's just always so much stuff that's out there that needs to be spoken on. You know, just to straighten things out, because it's constantly people confused, because it's things are done purposely, and